Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But let me first go ahead and give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. We are looking at the VIX, and as you can see, price has been gathered in this area. So this is that would have been our support area, right? So we broke past that only to come up to this level to get rejected, right? So where are the trouble places as of now is for the VIX. Immediately I go to this area and I look at the levels that I've marked previously, right? So as of now, resistance was around the 1672. It looks like we've broken through that area only to find trouble here around the 1679, which is not far, right? So let's say trouble places are around the 1662 area, 1688. If we should break the 1688 for the VIX, I would say around the $17 area. If we break the $17, 1714 could possibly be a trouble place. If we break that 1714, 1721, which is a previous gathering spot for us. So I would watch those areas to the upside. Again, I look at the VIX because it kind of gives me an idea of what's going on with the SPY. Normally, when the VIX is up, the SPY is down. That is normally, right? So again, let's look at the areas to the downside for the VIX. Under 1655, we could very well find support back here at the 1651, which wasn't far, right? So now, under the 1651, we can find support again at 1646. Under that level, we can find support around 1641. Under the 1641, we can come all the way back to the 1617 area for the VIX. Now, it looks like the VIX is breaking out of an area back to the upside. So again, when the VIX is normally up, it tells me that the SPY is normally going down. So let's go and see if that is the case today, and it is. As we see here, looking at the SPY, looks like we are declining here, right? So as of right now, it looks like we've come down to try to find support around this 585.56 area. That's where, well, we just broke through that level, right? So where are the trouble places as of right now for the SPY? I would definitely watch this 585.29 area. If we should break that, 585.06, 584.90, 584.67, 584.42, and again here at 584.12. Now, if by chance we break that 584.12, I have an alert set there. We could very well come back to 583.45, and keep in mind the SPY does have a gap to the downside that need to be filled, right? So let's go back and look at the trouble places to the upside. If by chance the SPY break back above 586.30, we could possibly have trouble around this area, 586.48. And if we break that level, 584.67, and if we break 584.67, we could possibly have trouble around 586.87. And if we should break that level, I would definitely watch around the 587.20. Now, breaking the 587.20, I would watch 587.42, and if we should break that, 587.76. So those are going to be trouble places or support and resistance areas for the SPY to the upside, to the downside, right? Just again, keep in mind the SPY does have a gap that will need to be filled to the downside. So if you trade the SPY today, y'all know I say often trade carefully, right? Because in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So we are now looking at Tesla, and Tesla just does what it does, right? Tesla closed at 320.72. We made a pre-market high of 349.50. Now, where are the trouble places for Tesla back to the upside? We would definitely need to get back above 342.15. Above the 342.15, 344.29, 346.54, 347.88, and if we break the 347.88, we can come back and retest this 349.50. Now, those are resistance areas for Tesla. It looks like we're finding support as of now at this 339.83 area. Let's see, 339.80. Around the 339.75, 339.80 area here is right now our support for Tesla. Now back to the downside. If we break this level of 338.55, we could very well find support around, let's say, 337.97, and that's just where these candles here were gathered together. So around the 337 337.80, I would definitely watch that for Tesla. If we should break the 337.80, 335.16. If we break the 335.16, I will watch for Tesla 331.92. We break at 331.92, 331.52, and under that level, 328.35. Under the 328.35, 325.23, and if we should break that 320.30, those are going to be trouble places to the upside and to the downside for Tesla. And I've said before that Tesla normally exceeds its ATR for the day. That is the average true range. So if by chance you trade Tesla today, trade carefully. So we are now looking at NVDA. NVDA closed at 141.98. It's interesting that we are declining, right? So NVDA, let's see, it looks like we're finding support here at this 137.12. We have bounced off of that back to the upside. So where are the trouble places for NVIDIA? We will need to get back above 138.46, above 138.57. That was a zone for us here in this area. So I would definitely watch that. So above 138.57, we could possibly find support or resistance around 138.95. Again, the high of these candles and where the bodies are. 138.95. Above that, 139.14. If we break the 139.14, I will watch 139.34, and if we should break that area, just know 139.48 could be a resistance area. Breaking that level, we could possibly have resistance around 139.72, again at 140.07, 140.38. Those are going to be trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside. Now, back to the downside. If by chance we come back under this 137.46 area, we can find support again at this 137.12. 137.14 is what I had marked, which is really, really close. So under this 137.12 area, we could very well find support at 136.67. Again at 136.42. Under 136.42, we could possibly have trouble around 135.67. So if you trade NVIDIA today, I would definitely watch those places to the upside and to the downside. Under this 135.67 area, 134.91 could very well be a support place. So y'all, it seems like the market is going to be interesting today, and I always say, y'all, once it goes against your why, get out. Live to trade another day. Set your stop losses, and if you don't do stop losses, your mental loss, whatever it is that you use, have the discipline to execute that. So we're now looking at AMD. AMD closed at 134.90. 134.90, and it looks like, y'all, look, we're bouncing off this ATR trail and stop only to come back to the upside. 5 and 50 has crossed. I like to see stuff like this, right? So where are the trouble places as of now for AMD? As you can see, price came up, got rejected at this 138.14. So right now it would need to get back above that 138.14 area, only to possibly have trouble here at 138.60. Beyond that, 139.11. If we break 139.11, 140.01. If we break the 140.01 for AMD, we could have trouble around 140.54, and again at 141.05. Those are going to be resistance areas for AMD. Now back to the downside. If by chance we break back under this 136.58 area, we can come back and retest this ATR trail and stop around 136.01. Under the 136.01, price stopped at this area here around 135.78. If we break the 135.78, 135.51, and if we should break that, we could find support at 135.72, which is not that far away. So breaking the 135, let's say the 135.25, let's see, yes, 135.54, under 135.54, 135.25. If we break that level, it can bring us back to this previous zone here, which is around the 135.22, all the way down to the 134.92. So I would definitely watch AMD back in this zone, considering something stopped us here at this place. It wouldn't surprise me to see us come back to this zone here, and that's around the 135.05 area. If we should break that 134 15 could very well be a support place for AMD. So if by chance you trade AMD today, trade carefully. We do have a couple of inside day candles, and Citigroup is an inside day candle. If by chance we break above 68.99, the target is 69.34. Under 67.87, downside target is 67.46. So if you trade Citigroup or C, it is an inside day candle. Charge point is also an inside day candle above $1.13, gives us a target of $1.15, which is not far, right? So under this $1.10 gives us a downside target of $1.09. It's interesting that we're just trading sideways like this, but charge point is an inside day candle today. So these are, let's see where Netflix is today. Netflix closed at 823.96, and we've made a pre-market low today of 804.30. Something stopped Netflix in this area, so it will be interesting that, you know, that we're back in this area around 811.53. However, we're still gapping down today, which causes an upside gap that needs to be filled. That does not mean that it's going to happen today, so trade carefully, right? So Netflix is interesting today. I would definitely watch, you know, if it break back above this 817.14 area, we could very well find trouble in that. Well, we can find trouble in that area. 816.95, only because look where the body of these candles are in this area here. Let's see if I can mark that for Netflix just to show. Normally price comes back. This was kind of like a support area for us. So now it was support. It's now a resistance area. So it would need to get back above 815.01. And if we break that level, we could possibly have trouble at the 815.64, breaking that 817.14 for Netflix. So if you trade Netflix, those are places back to the upside I would definitely watch. I'm going to go back to the SPY just to do a little recap. And it looks like we are declining. Keep in mind the SPY does have a downside gap that needs to be filled. Not saying that that's going to happen today. I would definitely watch those areas. Let's see if by chance, you know, back under this 842.81 area will be interesting for the SPY. Again, it would not surprise me. And I know y'all sometimes looking at my charts are a little bit different, only because the SPY is something that I trade often. I'm going to try to see if I can get back to where that gap fill is close around the 576.74. So that's going to be interesting to watch, right? The 576, this area 576.74 is from, the gap is from 585.29 down to the 576.74. So that's interesting. If you trade the SPY, that is, you know, it is possible for us to come back and close that, but not guaranteed, let's say that. So y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day today. And y'all, if you could please like, share, comment, and subscribe, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.